It's time once again for that business show with Jamie Meloni on 1250 Wins WHNZ, where business becomes show business. Jamie is a leading Tampa Bay real estate agent and featured on the Wall Street Journal's list of top 100 real estate agents in the nation. Jamie invites you to list your home with him today and learn more at tampabayradio.com. Now, live in studio and promoting the entrepreneurial spirit that drives the American economy, your host, Jamie Meloni.
Good morning, everybody, and thanks for tuning in to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business. Weekday mornings here at 8 a.m. on 1250 WHNZ. It's a business variety show, a little something different each and every morning as I talk to many different professionals, business, civic leaders about what they are doing in our communities to make a difference. So I invite you to please tune in, take a break from all the political news and sports talk that dominates the airwaves in the morning with a show with a completely different flavor. You'll find nothing like this on the airwaves. It's a show with a positive message about what is going on in the community. Also, as always, I invite you to my website, tampabayradio.com. Over there, all shows available on demand, as well as our live stream. We do video all the shows here live in studio each and every morning. So if you head over there and click on the watch live stream button, if you're sitting in an office, you can catch the live feed each and every morning. And we put those up on demand as well on Tampa Bay Radio, as well as my YouTube channel as well. Also, the show expanded its audience last week. Starting this past Sunday, we began airing on 970 WFLA Sunday mornings at 5 a.m., doing a real estate edition of the show because, as many of you all know, my specialty is real estate. And so we're doing the That Business Show, the real estate edition, airing every Sundays at 5 a.m. So again, real estate-centric show, a lot of great information about the real estate market and what you need to know to compete out there if you're buying or selling a home. Joined in studio this morning by my streaming engineer, Josh Vazda, Tampa Bay Multimedia, and also Stephen Armstrong, as always, working the audio behind the glass for 1250 WHZ. Great producers of the show, and thank them very much for being in here each and every morning. Josh, your Steelers picked up a win last night, correct?
Yep.
The Steelers have a great following down here. You know, being from West Virginia, Steelers, have a following from, seems like everywhere. Because in West Virginia follows Pittsburgh sports. And I was surprised when I came to Tampa that, I saw the following that the Steelers have down here. But it's, it's an amazing team, though.
Yeah, I grew up with it. My dad was a big Steelers fan, so I just fell in line.
Yeah, how do y'all like having Vic back there behind quarterback, though, man? Is that all hurting your image a little bit, or you want to say no comment to me now?
Honestly, it's kind of funny.
How's that?
Because, Big Ben had his troubles, and Vic's had his troubles, so it's almost like you got to pick the lesser evil.
The lesser of the two evils. Yeah. Well, I see what you're saying there, but hey,
you did a good job towards the end of the game, though. I
saw a great movie. I think I mentioned it last week. I wanted to talk about just a little bit. 99 Homes, movie with Michael Shannon. I saw that on Friday. It opened here in the area, and it highlights what I do as a real estate broker, although it highly dramatizes it. So I can tell you, if you see the movie and you think that's how I am, I mean, that's not how the business goes, but it's about a real estate broker that sells foreclosed properties on behalf of the banks, and it's a great film. It says it's based on true events, so you go in there thinking it's a true story, but it's really not. It's based on actual, reported accounts of evictions, but it's centered on a real estate broker in Orlando who sells foreclosed properties representing the banks. And it shows him, throwing people out left and right in eviction proceedings. And, this is, part of what we do in the bank business. But I can tell you, the movie really dramatizes it, and rarely do things go down like anything in that movie.
So you're saying you're not strapped from your ankle to your hip with a bunch of guns?
No, it shows him carrying a gun to each eviction, getting a gun pulled on him a number of times. No, I can tell you, I've sold 1,400 some foreclosures now in 8 years, and I can count on one hand the number of evictions that I've shown up to with somebody actually still in the home. The bank offers them a pretty good bit of money to move out. It's an amicable agreement typically, and many times the occupants are actually quite relieved by the time that I show up on the door. They've been through, the attempts to modify the mortgage throughout the past couple of years, and to have somebody show up on their door and then offer them money to move out, it's usually a amicable agreement at that point. But
they know it's coming.
They do, and it's a sad movie, and it broke my heart to watch it. And but again, it's not a true story in the movie. It's really dramatized. It shows the real estate broker scamming Fannie Mae, who is the primary client in the movie. Fannie Mae is basically the secondary market, the holder of most of a lot of the mortgages that are out there.
Very well known.
and also my office, we're a listing broker for Fannie Mae, but it shows him running a number of scams to make additional money off of the banks, and it's just not like that out there in the business.
It was based in Orlando?
Yeah, the movie was set in Orlando. Yeah, it was set in Orlando, but it's not a true story. So the broker in the movie, Michael Carver Realty, he's not a real broker. I went into the movie thinking that, so I was like, because it says based on actual events, and so I went into the movie and I was like, all right, I was surprised because he was running all these scams. He was like stripping the homes of the kitchens, putting in cheap kitchens, selling off the kitchens, and then telling the banks the properties were occupied when in fact they were vacant to get the relocation money that the banks offer to the occupants. It's an easy scam to do. All you got to do is tell the bank that the property is actually, occupied when it's not, and the bank believes you. And so it highlights that in the movie. So I know some brokers through the years have gotten busted for doing that type of stuff, but just wanted to set the story straight if anybody's out there watching that, because I know I talk about selling the foreclosed properties, and that is a component of what I do, but it's nothing like that.
Was the movie worth going to see?
Yeah, it was.
If you're not a real estate broker, or
even if you're not a real estate fan or anything, it's still a great story. Yeah, it's a story about a man who gets evicted from his home by the broker.
Right.
Then wants to
Andrew
get his home
Garfield,
back.
right?
Andrew Garfield from Spider-Man, and then Michael Shannon from General Zod in the Superman movies plays the real estate broker, and it's about him getting evicted, and then he goes to work as one of his staff members, doing what he does, showing up at the evictions, and getting people moved out of the homes, and just a lot of other stuff that goes on throughout the movie. But it's a great film. It was in the Sundance Film Festival, and
anything Michael Shannon does is going to be good.
Yeah,
I mean, I haven't seen a bad movie that he was in ever.
Yeah, it's a great film, so highly recommended. But I just wanted to set the story straight that's not the way this business works. And trust me, I've sold 1,400 some properties, and the way they portray the real estate broker in that movie, it's just not.
Well,
not me.
Never let the truth get in the way of a good story, though.
Right. Yeah. But again, 99 Homes, it's out right now. It's available in most of the theaters around Tampa Bay area. So if you go over there and see it and you have any questions for me about the business, feel free to message me. Again, always looking for feedback from my listeners through TampaBayRadio.com. There is a contact form over there. Let's go ahead and bring on my first guest for the show. Tim Jarrett is the general manager of the Center Club, and with the help of employee partners and members, the club has received the coveted Circle of Excellence Award 3 times in the last 4 years, and Tim has been recognized nationally as the Superstar of the Year. Tim, welcome to the program today.
Thanks, Jamie. Thanks for having me on, and just wanted to appreciate you helping the business community get a voice on the radio. So
thank you very much. Love doing this. Been doing this since February. Been doing radio in general 2 years, going back to the real estate show days. But yeah, it's great out there. There's just so many amazing professionals out there, such as yourself, such as Jason, who's going to be on the second part of the show. And I just love doing this each and every morning. And the Center Club is kind of a hub for a lot of this professionalism that goes on in the community. So first off, tell the audience about the Center Club.
Well, first of all, this is our 31st year in the community, and our club was really set in motion in 1984 when the year after the West Shore Alliance was actually established. And the West Shore Alliance represents the West Shore Business District, the largest in the state of Florida, and the vision was to make it the largest business district in the state of Florida. And you look 32 years later, and now it's 100,000 employees, 15 million square feet of office space. You have the Bucks in there. You've got Hillsborough Community College, 2 world-class malls. So with 100,000 employees, they wanted a club, a clubhouse, a place for the business community to come in, to connect, to engage each other, and a place to do business. And so here we are 32 years later.
Now, you're talking about Club Corp, which is the brand that encompasses the Center Club, correct? The 30 years of history right there that you're speaking of?
Actually, Club Corp is going on 60 years old.
Okay, so the West Shore Alliance is what you're saying, 30 years? Okay.
The pioneers of that, people like Lee Bentley, people like the late Al Austin and George Steinbrenner, and those individuals that really had the vision for what the business community was going to be in the West Shore Business District, really set us, asked Club Corp to come in and open a club.
Okay. All right. So the Center Club is located over there on West Shore and Kennedy, correct? So tell the audience out there where this club is located for those who are not aware.
Yeah. So, right across from the West Shore Mall, like you said, Kennedy and West Shore, and on top of the Intercontinental Hotel. I mean, we've been there, like I said, 31 years. And
y'all been undergoing some major renovations over there over the last year, correct?
Yeah, that's the great story. You know, we're investing $1.8 million into a club that already looked great. It just needed an updated feel, but also members use our club differently than they had 31 years ago, and even 10 years ago they use our club differently. And so we needed to create space for members to be able to engage each other and to have a place to have the one-on-one coffees, a place to work from, a place to entertain clients, and have events. So,
what's going to be different in the club versus people that may remember it before the renovations? What's going to be new now?
Well, we added a lot of technology to the space. We're adding a much more robust area for members to use this as an office away from office, a place to kind of engage each other. We also took the existing bar, which we had was 3 seats, and we're making it 12 seats. And we're also going to, everything from the uniforms to the menus to the programming for our members, all that changes.
Now, you got the grand reopening on November 13th called Bar Wars, correct? Tell us a little bit about this and how people can get involved in this.
Yeah, this is one of the few times of the year where non-members can use our club, and this is a great event that has 3 great nonprofits that it's supporting, but it's also our grand opening coming out party for the community. And we've challenged the other clubs in our community that Club Corp owns to bring their best craft cocktail. And we're going to have the crowd be out there and vote to see who's got the best craft cocktail. And Absolute Elix has stepped up, and they've donated their vodka as the base for the craft cocktail. But it's just going to be a fun night, checking out the new space, checking out the new club, and be just a great fun night to come see what we did.
Okay, and again, that's going to be going on November 13th at the Center Club. Bar Wars, celebrating the Center Club's grand reopening. I'm going to take a quick break, but coming back from the break, I'm going to talk a little bit more with General Manager Tim Jarrett of the Center Club about how membership works over there. So it's a great organization to be a part of for the business community out there. You're currently listening to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business. Have you considered a reverse mortgage as part of your retirement financial plan? For homeowners age 62 or older, a reverse mortgage from Access Reverse Mortgage is a safe, economical way to turn your home's equity into cash or monthly income. Access Reverse Mortgage is a family-owned company based right here in the Tampa Bay area for the past 10 years. They are A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau and Florida's leading reverse mortgage provider. Call 727-347-0305 or go to accessreverse.com to start your research today. NMLS number 4566. That's 727-347-0305.
Are you looking for a local real estate firm that knows the market and has your interests in mind? Then contact Jim McPeak at McPeak Real Estate Firm, a family-owned business whose agents have over 60-plus years of experience in the Tampa Bay market. Many of the agents are military veterans that know the VA process for buying a home and are proud to help our military members in any way they can. From residential to commercial real estate, McPeak Real Estate Firm is here to help. Contact Jim at 813-495-3875 and learn more at McPeakTeam.com.
Help promote the entrepreneurial spirit that drives the American economy. Tune in weekdays at 8 a.m. on 1250 WINS WHNZ to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where he promotes what is right with our community and highlights the successes of our entrepreneurs. Show contributor openings also available. You can learn more about the show and how to become part of this growing network at TampaBayRadio.com. Tune in weekdays at 8 a.m. to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business.
Tampa Bay weather is a roof killer. That's why when getting your roof done, you want it done right. Hi, I'm Jamie Meloni of That Business Show. When considering a new roof or repair, talk to Westfall Roofing. They've been installing high-quality roofs in Tampa Bay for over 25 years. Get a free, no-obligation estimate by calling 855-99-ROOFING. That's 855-99-ROOFING. Find out what already 15,000 satisfied customers already know. Call now, 855-99-ROOFING.
Are you in need of new flooring or ready to tackle that home remodeling project? Then contact Yeager & Company Incorporated, a family-owned, state-certified general contracting business with over 70 years of experience and the recipient of the Angie's List Super Service Award for the last 8 years in multiple categories. Yeager & Company comes to you with their shop-at-home flooring sales service, and their hardwood flooring refinishing is the very best in the Bay. Kitchen and bath design featuring American-made, well-born cabinets, and all work is done by employees, not subcontractors. Learn more at YeagerFlooring.com.
From the Bright House Networks Traffic Center.
Both east and westbound I-4 slow near 50th Street due to a crash. Also one on 301 north of I-4. right around Sly Avenue. Also, very slow traffic on the Courtney Campbell Causeway eastbound into Tampa. Earlier accident now off to the side, but again, very slow from the Pinellas side to Rocky Point. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abraham, Son and Uterick. Hillsborough Traffic Tip Line, 866-545-95.
This report is brought to you by the Exergen Temporal Scanner Thermometer. The Exergen Temporal Scanner Thermometer is so fast, accurate, and easy that it takes the hassle out of taking temperature. It is an awesome purchase. Every new parent should have one. Pick one up at your local Club Warehouse or other fine retailers today.
Today, partly cloudy with a high 85. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 68. Tomorrow, a weak cold front leaves just a 10% rain chance with a high 86.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni on 1250 Wins WHNZ. Missed a show? Then head over to TampaBayRadio.com, where all shows are available on demand. Once again, here's your host, Jamie Meloni.
And we're back to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business, each weekday morning at 8 a.m. here on 1250 WHNZ. You can learn more about the show over at TampaBayRadio.com. Currently in studio with Tim Jarrett, General Manager of the Center Club. Tim, tell us how membership works over there at the Center Club.
Yeah, so membership is by invitation, and our members sponsor new members, and that's kind of how it works. And I get often asked, what makes a good member? And my response to that is somebody you invite into your home to have dinner. That'd be a great member for our club, because as we build a community. We're about building relationships. And so those folks who you want to build relationships and friendships with and connect with are great members of our club.
Now, the club almost closed in 2010, correct?
We did. It was kind of a combination of obviously the downturn that a lot of businesses faced, and especially a private club membership was generally the first thing to go when things started to go south in someone's business. And also with that in combination of maybe some folks that were kind of in the wrong, great people in the wrong positions, I came down from Raleigh, North Carolina, where I managed a club there to kind of help turn the club around. The membership had shrunk in half. The banquet revenue had shrunk in half.
Wow!
And for 2 years, the club was losing money. And there's a great saying that says, "If it's not making dollars, it's not making sense."
Right.
So we had some great conversations and some scary conversations with the company on whether the Center Club would continue to exist. And so with the help of the board of governors at our club and the committees and the members, we just really rallied around, and we got everybody kind of engaged in the club, and some great programming, got the food get the food going.
I was going to say, what were some of the changes that you implemented to help get the club back on track? You'd make some changes to the food, the offerings, the hours. What were some of the changes that you brought in?
It's really about programming. It's really about, and I kind of came in and I said, listen, I wanted to be the Cheers of the business community. Those of you remember the great sitcom Cheers that had a great mantra that said, where everybody knows your name. That was key for us. I wanted everybody to know each other's name in the club.
Right.
And so, getting the right staff and hiring the right people and leading the right people into understanding why we're there. We're not just there to serve hot food hot and cold food cold, but really to help it get members engaged with one another. And so the existing members we had left, and they went out and looked at the community. We started growing our membership back. And then, the great story is now the company's investing $1.8 million into the club and said, hey, look, you can grow without having a major investment. What can you do with a major investment?
Well, looking forward to this renovation. Again, it's going to be highlighted on November 13th there at the grand reopening called Bar Wars. So definitely want to Josh over there, a big Chewbacca fan over there, has to throw in the Wookiee sound there. Let's do that again.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty good. Now that's a language though. What's he saying? Put him on his spot there. He's like, what?
We need R2 for all the beeps that was contained.
You can make the sound, but you don't know the language, correct?
I know the language. I just can't say it over the air.
So how many members do you have now in the Center Club?
720. members.
720, okay.
Yeah.
And what do most people use the club for? Do they use it as an office away from an office, or do some people pretty much, is that their office? Well, I mean, what do you see most members using the club for?
We went out and spent over $1 million doing a lot of research in our company about why members use city clubs, because we weren't really sure. We weren't really sure why people belong to our club. So we went out and we identified really the 5 behaviors. We interviewed current members, never before members, used to be members all over the country, and followed them. And what we found, how they did business and how our clubs could fit in that, was 5 5 reasons why somebody joins our club, and one is that office away from office, a place that, you know, if you're in between appointments or you need a place, you don't want to go to Starbucks or Panera for a meeting, you can come to the club to have a casual meeting, or you just want to work out if you work from home and you want to work from there is one. 2, you want to connect, you want to meet new people and build more relationships in the business community. The 3rd is our private event space. You may plan meetings, you may have trainings, you may have board meetings, charity events. You want to do it at our club because it's advantageous to. 4 is you host folks for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, and you like to be called by name. You like for us to recognize your preferences. You like the fact you walk in, it's your club. It elevates that meeting. And last is travel. And a lot of my members travel all around the country during the week and visit other clubs to do business. You know, Club Corp owns over 200 properties across the country and beyond. And members use those clubs, could use it from golf, some of our great flagship golf clubs, to our clubs in Seattle and Chicago that on top.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think it's an important point that you're highlighting there. If you're a member of the Center Club here in Tampa and you take a trip to Chicago or San Francisco, I imagine they're pretty much in every major city, I would imagine, correct? And are they always at the top of a skyscraper?
They are, you know, and I think the Seattle Club's one of the favorites is that they're always voted the best bathrooms in the country because you're in your own restroom and you're overlooking the Puget Sound on the 75th floor. Yeah. And it's all glass. Right. So, but yes, so we're all in the skyscrapers because we're kind of icons in those communities as we are in Tampa. But you know, the real reason members join our club is not the same reason why they stay members for a long time. You know, the reason why they stay members for a long time is because of the relationships they build with the staff and the members of the club. Right. And that's really key.
Now, what are the hours of operation over there? You do breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I mean, what time are you all opening and what time are you shutting up at night?
So Monday through Friday, we start breakfast at 7 a.m. and we go to 10 a.m. And then we do lunch Monday through Friday. We serve dinner Wednesday through Friday. When we after our grand opening party, where we opening for dinner on Saturday nights, which is a lot of members are excited about because we haven't been open for dinner on Saturday nights since 2010. Yeah. So this is a big deal, and so we'll be open for dinner Tuesday through Saturday after the grand opening.
Very cool. Now, you were a Superstar of the Year award. Tell me a little about that. How did you get? What does that designation mean specifically?
Well, Club Corp, you know, we've got almost 20,000 employees, and I've been fortunate to be recognized twice for being, you know, Superstar of the Year. And you know, I don't like to quite talk about it that much, but it's really a team effort. You know, our club does well.
We can talk about the club award, the Circle of Excellence award 3 times in the last 4 years. I mean, so you definitely can give kudos back to the club in general then, too. So, yeah. Well, I mean, what goes into getting that level of recognition?
You know, I think it goes back to having the right people in the right positions, and leadership's important. And you know, if your employees from your dishwasher to your managers understand why we're there and why the members are important, is that it makes it important to that individual to know what our goals are and why we're there. And so I think we set some really lofty goals. Our club's well recognized around the country as a lot of things that we do. We do things a little bit differently. I think it helps to have a little bit of entrepreneurial spirit, that you're willing to take risks and try new things. And, you know, some things fail, but, you know, a lot of things have succeeded too.
Yeah. Well, it's a great club. I've attended a number of events there. And, I mean, every business professional knows about the Center Club there over there. What's the name of that building that it's in again? I know where it's at, but what's the name of that building that's at the top of?
It's called the Urban Center.
The Urban Center. Okay. Right. Now, also, people are also familiar also with the Tampa Club, which is at the top of the Bank of America building. Do you have any type of reciprocation? That's a tough word to say. Do you all share anything back and forth?
We do. We share a lot of members back and forth because obviously, you know, people want to be downtown. People want to be over in West Shore. So absolutely, we reciprocate well. We've got a great relationship with the team over there. And again, you know, if you're going to join a city club, join a club that you're going to be close to. Mm-hmm. Either you live by, you work by, you drive by a lot. Be sure that the location is really key because they run a great club over there too.
Well, Tim Jarrett, General Manager of the Center Club. Tim, thank you very much for being in studio today on That Business Show.
No, thank you. Thanks very much.
And coming back from the break, I'm going to talk with Jason Woody, President and CEO of the Lion's Eye Institute, here on That Business Show with Jamie Meloni. And in the meantime, be sure to check out my website, TampaBayRadio.com. You've been listening to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business.
Hi, welcome to Yeager's. We just want to take a minute and show you what we're all about. At Yeager's, our primary business is hardwood flooring, although we are remodelers for kitchen, bath, and general construction. We operate a fleet of shop-at-home vans that have all the flooring type products, hardwood flooring, laminate flooring, tile, stone, what have you. So we're able to come out first with products in our vehicles and take a look at the setting, how the colors will work, and then to be able to come up with some options and ideas for you. If that's not good enough, we have a large distribution center that we inventory product and have a nice display area.
At 1 p.m., Robert will show you how to be a financial ninja, teaching you the secret consumer tips the banks and credit cards don't want you to know. Listen today at 1 p.m. and be enlightened.
This is an important notice for those of you within 10 years of retirement or currently retired. You can't afford another market downturn. To learn how to grow your retirement savings every year without risk, call Raymond Marks Financial at 800-715-4755. If you could have a safe alternative that will grow every year by at least 7% with absolutely no risk of loss, would you sleep better at night? Take time out of your day to learn about this safe and protected opportunity. Call Raymond Marks right now, 800-715-4755.
From the Bright House Networks Traffic Center.
We still have slow traffic on the eastbound side of the Courtney Campbell Causeway approaching Rocky Point. That's due to an earlier crash. Also in the Town and Country area, eastbound Hillsborough Avenue and eastbound Memorial Highway are very slow as well. Had a disabled vehicle near the Veterans Expressway and also an accident near Independence. Getting word of a crash now on Waters just east of Sheldon. Crash there. Avoid that area. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamson and Uterick. Hillsborough Traffic Tip Line 866-545-9595.
This report is brought to you by Walmart. Walmart keeps you ready for cold and flu season with low prices on everything you need, like Hall's Cough Drops, Kleenex tissues, and Vicks Vapor Rub. Stock up now so your family won't be caught off guard when the coughing starts. Save money. Live better. Walmart.
1250 winds, Weather Center forecasts. Nice day, lots of sunshine coming up for the Bay Area. Once again in the low mid 80s for the high. No chance of showers in the forecast. A little chilly tonight in the upper 60s. Could see some 50s to the north. Impact Radio, 1250 winds, WHNZ.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni on 1250 Wins WHNZ. Missed a show? Then head over to TampaBayRadio.com, where all shows are available on demand. Once again, here's your host, Jamie Meloni.
And welcome back to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business, weekday mornings, 8 a.m. here on 1250 WHNZ, a business variety show. A little something different each and every morning as I talk to many different professionals about what they're doing in our community to make a difference. Also, if you're out there listening in the community and thinking about maybe getting on the airwaves to grow and promote yourself live on the radio, I'm always looking for content for the show. So please feel free to give me a call or reach out to me. Best way to get me, as always, is through my contact form over at TampaBayRadio.com. Also, please connect with me on all the different social media sites. You'll find me on pretty much every social media platform out there. Facebook.com/That Business Show. Also, Twitter under Jamie_Meloni. And also the show is put up on iTunes as a podcast, so we make the show very available and a lot of updates as well out there on all the different social media platforms. Josh, speaking of movies, though, I just thought another movie I mentioned briefly yesterday. We were talking about 99 Homes there in that last segment. I saw another great movie that I had some type of distant relationship to, but the movie Black Mass came out last week. A great film as well. Did you happen to see that?
No, I've seen the trailer, but your grandfather being locked up with Whitey Ford, man, that gives you like 50 cool points right away.
It's definitely an interesting story, but yeah, the movie Black Mass about Whitey Bulger, Jimmy Bulger. He doesn't like to be called Whitey, but that's the name the media kind of latched on. Yeah, James Whitey Bulger. But yeah, he was a mafioso guy out of Boston in the 70s and the 80s and into the early 90s there. But leader of the Winter Hill Gang. But early in his life, he was sentenced to Alcatraz and ran into my grandfather there, who did time in Alcatraz back in the late 50s, early 60s, right before the closing of the prison. And Whitey Bulger went on to run and left Boston in the mid-90s. And so I remember back when America's Most Wanted was on television all the time, they ran his segment like every month. There was like, because he was on the Most Wanted list. And, and I would go see my grandfather, and he would tell me stories about, Whitey in prison, and he claimed, he might know people that know where he is, but he didn't want to get involved in that, so he just kind of laid low. But yeah, definitely interesting story with my grandfather.
Man, Whitey, it took them a very long time to find him.
About 15 or 20 years or something. Yeah,
they just found him, and he was pretty much a withered old man.
Yeah, he was down in, I think it was out in California. Yeah, and he was also right by another FBI center. So if you watch the movie, do
they allude to that?
They allude to that in one of the documentaries about his capture, that he's right there beside an FBI center. And in the movie, he was protected by the FBI for years because he was an informant for the FBI, and one of his good childhood friends worked at that FBI facility. So, every time he was involved in something, the FBI, his contact at the FBI would cover it up and be like, listen, he's an informant for us. Yeah, he's involved in some shady stuff, but he's a good guy. He's giving us information. Really, the information that he was feeding them was aged information that somebody else had already given the FBI, and his contact there was, making it look like Whitey was really feeding
I saw a documentary, and they went over all of the information that it was like 700 pages of just complete nonsense.
Yeah. It's a good movie, another great movie out right now, and just a little bit of a distant involvement there, since my grandfather did some time with old Whitey Bulger there in Alcatraz before.
Third generation gangster over here.
Third generation gangster, yeah. I use the radio as my front.
Johnny Depp was really good in that.
You couldn't even tell it was him.
I had to watch the trailer at least 3 times before I realized it was him.
Yeah, you couldn't even tell that was him. But a great movie, another great movie out there to see right now. Time to bring on my next guest for the show. Jason Woody serves as the president and CEO of the Lion's Eye Institute for Transplant and Research. He and his dedicated team have helped bring the gift of sight to over 65,000 men, women, and children around the world. Jason, welcome to the program today.
Oh, thank you, Jamie. Thank you for having me.
So, first off, tell us a little bit more about the history of the Lion's Eye Institute.
Well, our program was started in 1973, based here. We covered just about 4 counties of Florida. Now we've expanded over the years, covering 61 of the 67 counties throughout the state.
Okay. And you've been with the Institute for quite some time, correct, too?
Yeah, November of this year will be 25 years.
Wow, congratulations. And you all got a big event coming up here called the Eyeball, and don't let that confuse people out there, the Eyeball. But tell us a little about this event that's coming up.
Well, the board a couple years ago, well, actually close now to a decade ago, had a vision to obviously bring just awareness for what we do for a cause. And they came up with a concept. The name was very unique, brought up one of our board members, as far as the eyeball. We have the fur ball, and we have so many other different balls in town, and so we came up with the eyeball, and that was our fundraising. Basically, our fundraising program, we do 2 a year for our Race for Sight and the Eyeball, to how we put money back into the community.
Very cool. So when is the Eyeball going on, and how do people get involved in this?
We are probably about a third of the way already sold out, and we're about 2 weeks out, so we're closing down as far as our selling out now. As far as October 24th, as far as it's going to be a main sale in. We used to have the facility for many people that attended in the Bay Area at Pepin. We actually have a wonderful facility, but we outgrew in size. So we're approaching about 450 people, and so it'll be October 24th.
And what type of funding does this raise for eye research?
Well, our program, our board's committed $100,000 a year back into the local Florida community. And that's anywhere, any recipient in Florida that does not have the ability to pay for a transplant. Maybe they fall through the cracks. You hear people with insurance and things like that. We've never turned down anyone in our close to 40-year history based on their ability to pay.
Now, tell me about the story of the founding of the Lion's Eye Institute. This goes all the way back to Helen Keller. So share the story with the audience, if you would.
Well, and great lead in there, Jamie, as far as because what ended up happening is that the Lions were a bunch of business people. There was Ford, Rockefeller. I mean, they were the big players back then, hence the name Lions. And what was interesting about that group, they didn't really have a purpose. And so they had their national meeting. They invited just a guest speaker just to come in and fill some time. And that guest speaker was Helen Keller. And she challenged them to be the Knights of the Blind against the crusade against darkness. And they took that cause, and they're now recognized as the single largest service club in the world.
Yeah, and so let's share some stats. I mean, pretty much people out there everywhere are affected by blindness or some type of eye disorder, in some way. And I think we talked about it in the last show. What's the one? Cataracts. Yeah, cataracts are something that if you live long enough, everybody's going to be afflicted by this disease. But share with the audience, some of the prevalence of the blind out there.
Well, interesting enough is that everyone will be visually impaired, guaranteed. Most people are going to experience, probably in your early 40s, you're already wearing reading glasses. That you've already got some readers, from that point. Cataracts. And then you actually have your major diseases, glaucoma. We hear a lot about diabetes. And then the same thing that we hear about as far as now, age-related macular degeneration. That's the newest one. So those three are key. So if you live long enough, you're guaranteed to be visually impaired.
Is there something going on in in our society right now that's impacting eye health? I mean, you said macular degeneration is starting to take center front in the vision industry there. I mean, what's going on?
Well, really, what's interesting is early detection. Personally, AMD was something that people saw, in their 60s. That's, 60s, 70s, and you went in and you say, oh, you have age-related macular degeneration. Really, there's no cure for it. There's a slight treatment, a couple treatments, but there's no cure. So once you have it, you have it. But we're seeing with early detection, better science, better technology, we're seeing this now dip into the low 40s.
Wow.
That people have AMD, and that's something with higher prevalence than we expected.
How does race and ethnicity play into vision impairments? Is there a certain segment of the population that is at greater risks for vision impairment?
There is, as far as like in Afro-American, as far as you'll see the higher prevalence of diabetes. Many people that you all of a sudden you see diabetes, that's one of the first things that affects their sight. As far as you also see, Caucasian female, as far as some of the higher races there, as far as the ethnicities that happen. So those are the two of the ones that we see, especially obviously with AMD. And we're seeing that. And of course, your lifestyle. Smoking is a huge contributor. That's one of the probably number one things that talking to people is that we see that in all of our patients' charts. A lot of these eye diseases are attributed directly to smoking.
Okay. We just talked about the eyeball, one of your major events that's coming up to raise funding for vision research. What are some of the other ways that the Lion's Eye Institute helps contribute to this cause?
Well, as far as our research side, as far as that, one thing is our board's focus is not on the transplant side, but on the research side. We actually have a PhD in-house. Our facility is 50,000 square feet in Ybor City, and we actually have a research facility actually working on all the diseases that we earlier spoke of, age-related macular degeneration, glaucoma, diabetes, because there we're not just helping the 40,000 people a year that get transplants, but we'll help millions of people worldwide through these suffering eye diseases.
Very cool. Got to take a quick break, but coming back from the break, I'm going to talk a little bit more with Jason Woody, President and CEO of the Lion's Eye Institute, and you can learn more about them and the organization at lionseyeinstitute.org. You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business.
Have you considered a reverse mortgage as part of your retirement financial plan? For homeowners age 62 or older, a reverse mortgage from Access Reverse Mortgage is a safe, economical way to turn your home's equity into cash or monthly income. Access Reverse Mortgage is a family-owned company based right here in the Tampa Bay area for the past 10 years. They are A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau and Florida's leading reverse mortgage provider. Call 727-347-0305 or go to accessreverse.com to start your research today. NMLS number 4566. That's 727-347-0305.
Are you looking for a local real estate firm that knows the market and has your interests in mind? Then contact Jim McPeak at McPeak Real Estate Firm, a family-owned business whose agents have over 60-plus years of experience in the Tampa Bay market. Many of the agents are military veterans that know the VA process for buying a home and are proud to help our military members in any way they can. From residential to commercial real estate, McPeak Real Estate Firm is here to help. Contact Jim at 813-495-3875 and learn more at McPeakTeam.com.
Help promote the entrepreneurial spirit that drives the American economy. Tune in weekdays at 8 a.m. on 1250 Wins WHNZ to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where he promotes what is right with our community and highlights the successes of our entrepreneurs. Show contributor openings also available. You can learn more about the show and how to become part of this growing network at TampaBayRadio.com. Tune in weekdays at 8 a.m. to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business.
Tampa Bay weather is a roof killer. That's why when getting your roof done, you want it done right. Hi, I'm Jamie Meloni of That Business Show. When considering a new roof or repair, talk to Westfall Roofing. They've been installing high-quality roofs in Tampa Bay for over 25 years. Get a free, no-obligation estimate by calling 855-99-ROOFING. That's 855-99-ROOFING. Find out what already 15,000 satisfied customers already know. Call now, 855-99-ROOFING.
Are you in need of new flooring or ready to tackle that home remodeling project? Then contact Yeager & Company Incorporated, a family-owned, state-certified general contracting business with over 70 years of experience and the recipient of the Angie's List Super Service Award for the last 8 years in multiple categories. Yeager & Company comes to you with their shop-at-home flooring sales service, and their hardwood flooring refinishing is the very best in the Bay. Kitchen and bath design featuring American-made, well-born cabinets, and all work is done by employees, not subcontractors. Learn more at YeagerFlooring.com.
From the Bright House Networks Traffic Center.
So a lot of slow traffic on the Courtney Campbell Causeway approaching Rocky Point, also eastbound Hillsborough Avenue and the eastbound side of Memorial Highway approaching Independence. That's due to an earlier crash there. Southbound Veterans Expressway still slow from Gunn Highway to Waters. Had a crash off to the side on Waters east of Sheldon. And I-4 still slowed in both directions near 50th Street. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamson and Utica Hillsborough Traffic Tip Line 866-545-9595.
This report is brought to you by Walmart. Walmart keeps you ready for cold and flu season with low prices on everything you need, like Hall's Cough Drops, Kleenex tissues, and Vicks Vapor Rub. Stock up now so your family won't be caught off guard when the coughing starts. Save money. Live better. Walmart.
Today, partly cloudy with a high 85. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 68. Tomorrow, a weak cold front leaves just a 10% rain chance with a high 86.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni on 1250 Wins WHNZ. Missed a show? Then head over to TampaBayRadio.com, where all shows are available on demand. Once again, here's your host, Jamie Meloni.
And we're back to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business. Each weekday morning at 8 a.m. here on 1250 WHNZ. And also the Real Estate Edition airs every Sundays at 5 a.m. on 970 WFLA. So put that on the calendar, or if you're not up that early in the morning, which I'm sure many of my listeners are not, we do make that available on demand. I got it up on iTunes as another podcast of mine. And also we'll put that over on TampaBayRadio.com as well. Again, all shows available on demand over there. Also on my site, you'll notice that I do sell real estate. And as always, I do offer a free home valuation to all of my listeners out there. Just click on the Sell Your Home link on the homepage, and we'll get you over a free home valuation. Typically get those out within about 24 to 48 business hours. And we need some inventory out there on the market in the Tampa Bay region. Homes definitely under pressure to go up in value right now because of the depleted inventory out there on the market. So you may be surprised what your home is worth, especially if you've got something newer home in one of the subdivisions, especially New Tampa, southeastern Hillsborough County. Those are very strong markets right now, both from first-time buyers as well as institutional investors. So again, reach out to me, TampaBayRadio.com, if you're looking to sell your home, and let's see about getting your home on the market. Currently in studio with Jason Woody, President and CEO of the Lion's Eye Institute, and you can learn more about them at lionseyeinstitute.org. And Jason, let's talk a little bit about how people can become donors. I mean, one of the things that the Lion's Eye Institute has is the Eye Bank. So let's talk a little bit about that to the community.
Well, you know, as far as that's probably the most important aspect of what we do is individuals that make the gift of donation. Everything that we talk about on the show and everything that we do day in and day out of our program is solely because of individuals that have decided to make, themselves a donor. Our decision when their loved ones pass, they themselves have made, as far as that decision for their loved one. So people can sign up. Most people sign up to be an organ donor when you get your driver's license.
Right.
The DMV staff are great, and they'll ask you about that. Multiple other questions, but one of them, would you like to sign up to be a donor? And the other way, you can go to www.donatelifeflorida.org, and you can sign up online. There it takes about 5 minutes. You can do it from your desktop, your worktop. You can do it from your phone as far as there, and you can instantly become a donor. And that goes into a central database that we have that information anytime anyone passes in any of the hospitals in Florida. We are able to access that information to verify that they're a donor and move forward with the loved one's wishes.
Now, how many people have you benefited through eye transplants through the years then, would you say roughly?
Since 1973, we're just in the mid 70,000. To give you to give you an idea, it's about a little bit larger than Tampa Stadium.
Wow.
So imagine everyone on a packed Sunday on a great Bucks game. Imagine every person in there received a transplant from our organization.
And are all eyes from people eligible? I mean, what if they're suffering from some type of cataracts or something like that? Can they be fixed and then put into the eye bank, or do they have to be healthy to start with? How does that work?
Well, it's interesting enough that actually the eyes that have disease that you hear about, glaucoma, macular degeneration, things of that nature, diabetes, are actually more valuable. Because those are the ones that we're actually going to be able to study to do more disease, to do
okay,
more
so it's not necessarily,
so
it's important to make sure you're thinking along those lines. It's not necessarily that your eye will go into, somebody else's, skull, for lack of a better term, but it's also used in research, correct?
And that's probably just as valuable. There's probably about 40,000 cornea transplants done domestically each year in the United States. There's 40,000 people in just a few counties of Florida that have glaucoma. So the much bigger picture is the eye diseases that we're all going to be facing. Maybe we've got loved ones that have glaucoma. You've heard about diabetes. And then, of course, the fastest growing age-related macular degeneration.
So you mentioned glaucoma and you mentioned macular degeneration. Of all the different eye disorders that are, taking hold of, our society, which one is, the most prevalent right now? Is it the macular degeneration? Is it glaucoma? What is this?
Well, probably, glaucoma is still up there, but macular degeneration is growing very fast. And glaucoma, for the most part, we can treat, and patients can live, pretty much a very normal life. We can treat and slow down, but we cannot cure AMD. And that's going to be the one is that, so most of the time when you find out you have AMD, it's already too late.
Too late. Talk to me about childhood blindness. What is the prevalence of, children with, some type of vision disorder to all-out vision impairments?
The numbers aren't that bad as far as it's early detection. As far as it's one of the things, back to school screenings, things like that, for parents to get their kids in and checked, as far as that, you find out why are they sitting so close to the front of the classroom? Because they need reading glasses, for, 8, 9, 10, 12-year-old who need reading glasses, that's not uncommon. And, sometimes they have headaches. All of a sudden, also they're making you recognize as a slow learner or a slow developer. There's really nothing wrong with them. They just can't see.
If somebody is born blind, never having seen, is it possible then that you can restore sight in that person? I think I've heard of this happening before, but it's not common, correct? What's going on? Talk to me a little about this.
Correct. Most of the time that you hear someone that's born blind, there's already, as far as disease or, dysfunction in the back of the eye, as far as for blood flow. And as far as so the eye is not functioning. On rare occasions, that is basically due to the cornea on the front of the eye, which we transplant. And so that's where you're getting your sight back. Now, there are some new technology advances giving people very, very limited vision, as far as with some of the new sciences, but it's pretty rare that someone's born completely blind, that they're going to have their sight regained.
Josh, you had mentioned the bionic eye. You had done a show with somebody. What was the bionic eye? What is this?
It was an implant. There was a unit that I guess they can wear on a belt, and it ran a wire up to like some sort of chip that's actually in their eye, and then they run another wire up to their temple, and it projects images on their brain. So basically they would see like a silhouette or a shadow, and they can see the outline of a human being. That's about
Jason,
it.
are you familiar with what he's speaking about? I know he mentioned it to us during the break of the bionic eye. Tell the community a little bit about this.
Yeah, it's based, a colleague of mine, as far as that's based out of California, and they're making progress on this. It's very, as far as Josh did a good job on there, that it's basically, it's a camera attached, or they attach an image to your temple, and as far as, then actually it's going, then there's attached electrodes to the back of your eye, and they'll be able to see that image out. Imagine that it's probably, if you looked at a camera, I don't know what the megapixels were back 20 years ago, but remember, they were very, very limited. You weren't able to take the detail. It's just like that, and most of the close right now, a lot of them are just in black and white.
Right.
And so it's going to take quite a little bit of time before that.
Isn't the camera on sunglasses like directly in the center too?
That's correct. As far as so the camera's attached to wireless, is actually connects to sunglasses. Actually, Oakley is the company that one of the main companies that make it. So you actually wear the sunglasses, and that connects between your brain and those images and put all three together.
The Lions Eye Institute, is it involved in other areas of research, or is it pretty much just all about the eye within the Lions Eye Institute?
Just about the eye. That's been our focus. There's a lot of other nonprofits that do great jobs. That's really our sole focus, is just helping those in the community that are blind or visually impaired.
So how did you get involved in the organization going back some 25 years now? Did you have a background in medical before getting into the Institute as a CEO?
Yeah, I was actually going to school. I was actually an operating nurse at Tampa General. And, one of our sister company, LifeLink of Florida, great organization. When you hear about heart-lung transplants, they're just phenomenal. And as far as I was actually interning, and had the chance to do kidney transplants with them during my schooling. And so I worked with one of the great doctors there, and I said, I just love that passion for helping somebody else and taking someone that as far as at the end of life and changing someone else's life. So I kind of got involved with them at that time, and then things worked out.
So 25 years, in the Lions Eye Institute, you've probably seen a drastic, change in technology and stuff. I mean, talk to me a little bit about, what, it was when you started 25 years ago versus what it's become today.
Probably close to 25 years ago, someone could wait 6 months to a year to get a transplant. Now you're waiting days. I mean, it's a scheduled routine surgery. Because of generosity of people signing up to be a donor, we have enough tissue. It's close. I will tell you that sometimes we don't have enough tissue for those that are waiting, but now it's a scheduled surgery. So if you were to call in maybe today, you went to your ophthalmologist and you need a transplant next week, there's a good chance that we would have it scheduled just like any other routine surgery.
Very cool. Now, what are some ways for people to get involved as we talked about as a donor, obviously, but, what about, through volunteerism, things like that? What are some ways people can get involved?
Well, our two, as far as, first of all, I say that, if you really want to support our organization, support the recipients waiting in Florida, sign up to be a donor. That's your number one volunteer anywhere in the state. That you're able to do that. Second, we have two major events. We have first our Race for Sight. That's in April. We have about 1,000 runners in Ybor City. We always like runners to come out. We always need volunteers for that. And then coming in October 24th, as far as I think we still have some volunteer spots open there for that event, our big event, the Eyeball.
Yeah, and we got about a minute left here, so let's go ahead and rehash the Eyeball, which is coming up here Saturday, October 24th from 7 to 11 p.m. over at the Main Sale Conference. What's the theme of this going to be?
Oh, it's going to be a great year, Mardi Gras. So you have definitely a New Orleans feel to it.
Very cool. And you do like awards and all that stuff. So it's a whole gala, right?
Correct. We're honoring two great recipients as far as Steve Griggs, President and CEO of the Tampa Bay Lightning, and Tim Olson, Director of Ophthalmology for Emory University.
Yeah, see, you got CEO of Tampa Bay Lightning. You said Steve Griggs up for the light, or he's already been awarded the award.
He'll be getting the award that night.
The Light of Sight Award, and then the other one, Timothy Olson, is getting the Innovation and Research Award. Then, so that's all going to be going on over there at the Eyeball, again being held October 24th from 7 to 11 at the Main Sale Conference and Event Center off of Eisenhower Boulevard. Well, a great discussion, Jason. I greatly appreciate you being in studio with me, and hopefully we get some listeners out there to the event.
Thank you so much, Amy. I appreciate it.
And again, that is Jason Woody, CEO of the Lions Eye Institute, and you can learn more about him at the lionseyeinstitute.org. And again, the Eyeball going on Saturday, October 24th from 7 to 11 p.m. at the Main Sale Conference and Event Center off of Eisenhower Boulevard. Tickets are $250 each. And for more information, again, visit lionseyeinstitute.org. Well, we're wrapping up another show of That Business Show, and if you're finding me on the air for the first time, keep in mind this is a business variety show on each and every weekday morning, live on the airwaves at 8 a.m., and it's a business variety show, a little bit something different each and every morning as I talk to many different professionals about what they are doing in the community to make a difference. And the show is always looking for content and always looking for show partners. So as you've been listening to me for some time and you have any interest in getting on the airwaves, please feel free to contact me through my contact form over at tampabayradio.com. Tomorrow morning, it'll be Working Women Wednesdays, brought to us by the Working Women of Tampa Bay Networking Group. Always a fun feature, so be sure to tune into that tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. And in the meantime, visit my website, tampabayradio.com. You've been listening to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business.